Hey guys, welcome back to the Jersey Comic Crew. On today's episode, we are reacting to the Bad Batch episodes 1 and 2. Come on inside.
What's up, everybody? We're the Jersey Comic Crew. In today's episode, we're talking the Bad Batch, episode 1 and 2, the latest show from Disney Plus. You thought you had your free time? You thought because Falcon and the Winter Soldier was done, you have nothing else to watch? No, we got Star Wars here, and this is your spoiler warning. We're going to talk about key moments from the episode that we loved to kind of give you our insight onto the show. So, Chris, the first thing I want to say, I watched episode 1 and 2. I have not watched the Clone Wars. Right? I only watched the final season, which I know is wrong, right? And I did not watch Rebels, right? I enjoy the show, but it's nothing that's impressing me. Like, I like the concept that they're talking about, like seeing Order 66 from the clone trooper's eyes, and we know the Bad Batch, the defects, because they could do cool things. I like that. I like that they're trying to go against the grain and try to break against the Order 66 and the brainwashing that's happening here. But I'm just not wowed, and I think that's because I just haven't gotten into the other animated stuff from Star Wars. It's still very good content. Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't love it. I like it. I don't love it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's fine. A lot of people are on the same boat as you. Like, they like it so far. I would say, one, it's still opening up, right? It's
True.
still a brand new show in total. It's still, like, getting its, footing on what's going to happen, and it's going to open up in a big bad way. Filoni likes to work in long form too, so it's going to be, hey, characterization, getting to know your characters, getting to know the different personalities, and then let's amp it up to 11.
I know the show's going to be, like you said, I know it's going to be worth a watch. Don't get me wrong, because like Dave Filoni, I think everything he's done since Avatar, I've loved, right? Anything I've seen him do, it's good work, right? And especially when you have the backing of Disney. I just know that it's going to take a little bit of time for me, and I wanted to say this for others who are watching it, who might be thinking about dropping this show and just waiting. I think it's worth the investment, guys.
And I think, one, you should definitely watch Clone Wars or Rebels, so you'll be you just will like this will mean a lot more to you. I thought episode 1 was obviously a lot better than episode 2. One, because 70 minutes compared to 30 minutes, but also you had that big spectacle of the beginning with Caleb Dune.
Oh yeah,
who we know as Kanan Jarrus later in Rebels. Seeing his side of Order 66 was heartbreaking and awesome as well. I will say what did bother me a little. I don't know if you caught this.
What?
I believe they got Freddie Prinze Jr. again to do the voice because he did Kanan's voice.
Really? I didn't catch it.
Caleb Dune's voice, he sounded like a 40-year-old man when he was like 12. So he's like, no, get away from me. And I'm like, wow, he sounds way too old. Like, they couldn't just hire a kid to do this. But so that was my big critique for episode 1, was the voice just sounded way too old for a kid. But I did love that beginning part. I love that, like, the Bad Batch were kind of there to be like the reinforcement, right? They're kind of like, hey, on call wherever they're needed. And to see them get in the action immediately and how pinpoint perfect they are was just a great start.
I do like how one of the Bad Batch was they were like kind of fighting the inhibitor chip in there. What was his name? Crosshair, like the marksman. And like they had to go against him, and he's going to be a thing throughout the series. I think that's cool because it breaks up the group, and they have some connection to that one clone trooper.
Yeah.
I really did like seeing Palpatine talk to everybody and like reinvigorate all the clone troopers for the Empire, and they're just sitting there like, what is going on? That scene was probably my favorite out of the first 2 episodes.
Like the brainwashing scene where you start realizing that, no, this is real.
This is bad. This is bad news.
That was a great thing to see, and to go back to Crosshair for a second.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine asked me, it was actually pretty funny, like, it had to be Crosshair, right? Like, is there a sniper in any movie, TV show that's a good guy? Like, you never see a sniper as a good guy ever.
That's true, because they're always in the back, right? They're always looking at everything, and like
it's always like some sinister guy.
You know who it's never going to be, the bad guy? The big brute, right? Because he's always the lovable guy. Yeah. He just runs in, he moves things, and I'm like, he's cool. I like him. Like, he's never the bad guy. It's always like you said, or like if there was a thief or a rogue, he'd be the bad guy. Yep. It's always like that kind of stereotype.
The guy with a checkered past or something. But
exactly.
I did love that. I love how they're all kind of like their own weird version of the Ninja Turtles, right? Like they're basically phenomenal at specific things. Also, like, I love 80s movies, and Hunter basically is John Rambo to me. But that aspect,
Thank you. I
thought,
couldn't place it. He's Rambo.
he's got the headband, he's got
He's
the
got
hair,
the mark on the
the
thing.
warp. Yeah, it's just, and he has the knife, like it's all Rambo.
It's Stallone.
So I love that aspect of it. I also liked the introduction of Omega.
I could take her or leave Omega at this current point, but I know she's going to be important, right? I don't know if she's going to be a Jedi. I don't know like what her purpose is, and we're going to have a separate video talking all Omega, like a whole theory, so make sure to check that out. But, I mean, I'm not sold on her yet. I thought when she was going to go on the transport shuttle with the other family with Cut.
With Cut.
Yeah, the guy who escaped from the, rebellion or whatever you want to call it at that moment.
The Clone War.
Yeah, the Clone War. Thank you. Right? Like, I was like, oh, cool. Get rid of her. And now the Bad Batch could be a thing. But I was like, I knew it wasn't going to stick. But I'm indifferent on her until we get more.
So I'm usually like of a rule that Rob and most people who know me knows is that kids ruin things, especially movies and television shows. Go from The Mummy to The Mummy Returns. That kind of answers the whole question. So like, I'm usually the one who's like, please don't bring a kid into this. Like, especially when it's like it's 5 badass dudes who just kill for a living, right? Like, but I'm very intrigued in this because of the way that we've seen Filoni do this with Ahsoka, right? We've seen him take Ahsoka in Clone Wars and make it a Padawan for Anakin Skywalker, which we never thought was possible, and make her basically one of the biggest female fictional characters of all time. And we've seen him and now Favreau do it again with Baby Yoda with Grogu. So this dynamic of kind of bringing a kid in, a mystery child, all the questions that go with it, like Rob said, we'll talk in the next episode. But this is a character that if Filoni's bringing it in, there's a reason for it, right? There's not going to be a throwaway character. There's going to be big, bad reasons. She's clearly the first female clone that we've seen. So all those questions with the whys and hows that go into it, I think we'll see over the series. She could be a massive character going forward.
Overall, the first 2 episodes, I enjoyed. I am going to watch the next couple ones. I think it's fine. It's not bad by any sense. It's good. It's steady, and I know it's going to get cooler. And it does show a lot of cool sides. I'm all down, and I can't wait for the next episode.
Yeah, me too. I'm very invested. I wonder like how much info we're going to get as someone like me who loves to Easter egg and hunt and find out, all the side quest options instead of the main campaign. That's going to be something I think it's going to dig into. And obviously if we see other characters we already know, right? And other maybe massive characters we haven't seen animated yet. Who knows? Because this is an interesting time. We know the show is obviously after Clone Wars, before Star Wars Rebels. And it's kind of in between that, like, before Rogue One, but after Solo era. So this is really the start of the rebellion, how hard I'm sure it's probably going to be. And I kind of think, Rob, that these guys, by the end of the show, they kind of got to die Rogue One style, right?
It's going to be, when I saw this crew, and I'm not sure if you played this game. Have you played Halo Reach?
I have actually a little bit played some Halo Reach.
So, spoiler for that game, but it's years ago. It's kind of like this crew, kind of like the Bad Batch. Like one's a big brute, one's a sniper, one's a hunter, and they do all these cool things. And the game ends as a final holdout. Like a swarm of enemies are coming in, like everything, and like they have to do it, and each one dies an epic, cool death, and like you love it, but you hate it. And I feel like that could be the ending of the Bad Batch. Like if they do it right, like. Yeah. You can see, like, the marksman gets shot out of a cannon. Like, he dies and he has to do something. Like, if they do it like they did Halo Reach, like, that would be insane, right? Like, everybody dies, cool, epic deaths, and you're upset that they do that. I think there's a lot of potential here. I'm with you here. But, guys, we want to hear your thoughts on the first 2 episodes of The Bad Batch. Let us know down in the comments below. And stay tuned, because you're going to get some theory videos and, of course, those Easter eggs in the next couple of days.
And guys, thanks so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, really helps the channel out a lot. If you're brand new, subscribe and turn on those notifications. You don't want to miss any more Bad Batch news or Star Wars news or any news that we have. And as always, I'm Chris Heller. That's Rob Moran. We're the Jersey Comic Crew, and we will see you next time.